So what separates a good player from a pro?
The pro, like if you look at Ben Johns, he's going to treat the first shot of the rally or the 50th shot of the rally like it's the first one. So if he's in a dink battle, he's going to keep that same calm composure, even if the dink battle is 30 shots in. Whereas I think the amateur player, they are a good player. After, say, 10, 20 dinks, depending on the player, they get a trigger in their brain that like tells them that they have to speed up the ball or the world's going to catch on fire. So I think really decision making is the main difference between good players and pro.
Tanner is a professional pickleball player, coach, and educator, respected globally for his understanding of the game and how he developed over time. He has recently have his new book, Pickleball in 60 Seconds, also the very famous series on Instagram. We are recording this conversation ahead of Tanner's upcoming appearance on the APP, which many players in Malaysia and across Asia is looking forward to. Tanner, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, and I'm really looking forward to our conversation.
I'm actually a bit starstruck. Yeah, I consume your pickleball in 60 seconds almost on a daily basis. So thank you for doing that. So before pickleball, what were you doing?
Yeah, so I have a little bit of an interesting background. I actually started during college. I actually did video game streaming all online during the pandemic. If you're familiar with the game Fortnite, I basically streamed that online and I was able to grow a following of 400,000 followers through video games. So that was kind of how I learned about social media. And at that same time, I was actually playing paintball. You know how everybody's hooked on pickleball? I was hooked on paintball. Yeah. Like shooting the guns. I traveled all over the country and of the USA and all the way to Australia to play that competitively. And then after that, I became a realtor, realized that it wasn't for me and that I have a passion that I want to get fueled within. And I found pickleball during the pandemic and kind of set the rest is kind of history. I said, you know what, I'm going to just go all in, give this a try, move down to the hub of South Florida in the US and see what can happen. And I've never looked back.
Awesome. Thank you for the introduction. Just a note, my doubles partner is a big community organizer previously for paintball. So he's big. Yeah, he has a very big community. And when you're in KL, I will definitely introduce you both. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that would be great. I still follow along.
You're a player, you're a coach, and you're competing, and you do, seems to be like heaps of content. What's it like a typical week for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So a typical week for me is I definitely take the training very serious. Meaning like on-court training, but at the same time, I take the off-court training just as serious because our careers are so potent. One injury could really be the end of it all. You know, if you tear your Achilles or your knee, a knock on wood or something. So I really make sure that my hips and just lower body and upper body are really in tune and flexible and ready to go. So I would say every day, I definitely hit the gym. I try to do 2 separate sessions each day. So I try to do one drilling session for 90 minutes in the morning and then one game session for 90 minutes in the afternoon. So where I live, like I said, in South Florida, like all the players are here, PPA, APP. So I try to get a variety of different skill sets. So I try to practice against bangers, against people with a soft game, just so I'm well in tune, especially for these international tournaments. I don't know the level of competition I'm going up against. And then that doesn't take too long. I'd say that's maybe like 4 or 5 hours a day. I'll also schedule in, I'd say 4 times a week videos. So I'll do an hour session doing videos and I'm able to film 7 of my second videos. And then I'll also throw in an hour another day. I'll alternate of like a YouTube video. So I try to alternate 2 film days of 60-second videos and 2 film days of YouTube videos. That way I'm never really falling behind and staying relevant and present in the pickleball world.
That's amazing. So let's expand on this content creation a bit. So do you do alone or do you have someone actually filming you?
Yeah, great question. So I actually, when I first started out, I did a lot alone just with a tripod. Now I'll get like a buddy to come help and he will film me and then he will also be in the demonstrations. So if I need him to say hit a dink with me or a third shot drop, we'll set it up on a tripod. We'll do the example. And then after we get the example, we'll go back to him with the camera and then me talking to the camera. So I'd say it's like a 2-man operation.
So how does this come about? Pickleball in 60 seconds.
Great question. I love answering this. So I have the story in my brain. So how it worked was when I first found my channel, I was creating videos. Didn't say pickleball in 60 seconds. It was probably like 3 months or 4 months in. I bought a new microphone because I'm like, oh, I want to upgrade equipment. So I bought a microphone and I'm not the most technical savvy person. I couldn't figure out how to connect it to my phone. Something extremely basic. So I typed into YouTube, like how to turn on or how to connect a Rode wireless microphone. and the only results were like 20-minute long videos on YouTube. So I found myself clicking on the video and then like having to scrub through the video to find like where that part is. And then I was thinking in my brain, like, if somebody just created a YouTube short that said how to connect the Rode microphone in 60 seconds, or how to connect the Rode microphone in 60 seconds, I'd be like, that would get my click right away. And then that I just took into the pickleball world, and everybody seems to really love it.
So basically, when you say you're streaming, I assume that's Twitch. Twitch? Was it Twitch?
Actually, Twitch was so hard. I actually did it on Facebook Gaming.
And when you started content creation, what was your purpose of doing all this pickleball content?
So my original purpose of doing pickleball content was I really wanted to compete myself as a professional player. And it's pretty much impossible to do it if you don't have a sponsor or if you're rich, you know. I didn't have much of anything. So I said, you know what? Why don't I create content so then I can get a sponsorship to maybe pay for my way? And then maybe I can become like, I can basically live out my fantasy. I either make it as a player or I don't, but at least I tried. And in my brain, like, I wanted to know if it was possible, you know? So I thought I'll create the content to really fund and fuel my journey as a player.
So how's that coming along for you?
I'd say it's great. So like I said, it started out like wanting it to be that, just to get everything like covered, like so I can travel to the tournaments, pay the entry fee. But it's definitely turned into my career, and I'm so happy, and definitely a full-time. It's like the equivalent of like a full-time job with the workload. But now also, like, I feel like I'm finally getting, after like the 2 or 3 years of grinding, I'm still grinding, but I feel like I'm finally starting to get good recognition and compensation from different brands and stuff to allow me to make my content even better, to help the pickleball community even more.
60 seconds is actually, in real life, not on social media, it's actually very short. And when I speak to you, you're very articulate. But on the video, you are actually very precise with your words, and they are very, is that deliberate that you articulate individually?
Yeah, I would say that you're saying in the videos or in person? In the videos. Yeah, I would say word choice. Like I said, with the gaming background, I learned a lot about just like how to make videos get views, how to get people to watch. It's very, like, attention is the most valuable currency in the world. If you can capture people's attention, I think you can really turn it into something. And I know that, like, if I were to just sit there like, here's how to hit a third shot drop in pickleball, like, it's boring. I feel like if I can get animated and make you be like, oh, I want to, my whole goal is to like stop your scroll. You know, you're all day on social media. I want you to stop. I think by talking, being direct to the camera, and really purposeful with my words, with no fluff or no mumbling, it's like just direct. I try to do that to just capture attention and hold it throughout.
So everybody consume content. Tell us a bit about the book. I'm a big reader. You could see I have a lot of books, and
I saw that. Yeah,
I'm actually ordering your book. Why is the book? Why?
I think a book is necessary for a few reasons. I think the first reason is I think pickleball is still really in its infancy stage, which is why I'm so excited to come over to you guys in Malaysia, because I think pickleball internationally is still in its infancy state. Same exact thing with kind of everything. Everybody's trying to figure it out. There's not really a go-to pickleball book. And I knew for me, my entire persona is like coaching, helping people improve, 60 seconds. I was able to grow this audience. I thought it would be a fantastic way if I could take all the knowledge I've kind of gained over the 3 years living in Florida, playing with these top players, crystallize it, put it into a written form on Word. And the demographic of people that I know for the most part consume my videos, they're older, they're 50 plus. So they love reading. I know me and you love reading, but a lot of people our age don't. So I thought this would be great to kind of take my best ideas, put it on paper, and kind of corner the market with being one of the only pickleball books that is from somebody that's actively competing.
So I like physical books, but for your book, I plan to get it on Kindle because I just want it with me all the time. If one were to just choose between the Kindle and the physical book, what would you recommend?
I think in the book, I think there are a good amount of photos. So if on the Kindle there are photos, I think you can get away with it. However, I think if the Kindle version excludes the photos, I would say the book is very important for like photos. For example, like I have like photos showing the right way with like your wrist movement. So there'll be like a picture that's the wrong way with like a cocked wrist, and then the right way, where it's like if you're reading and you're not a super experienced player, it might be hard for you to visualize that. So the pictures kind of make it hit home.
Would you be happy? I mean, I'm just going to corner you and say, would you be sign the books for people who actually bought it in Malaysia when you're here?
I would love that. That would be a dream come true. That would be amazing.
Yeah. So what have you seen about Malaysia that makes you excited that you want to come to this part of the world?
You know, I've seen other people play a few tournaments there in the past. Like, and I just really saw like highlight videos or photos from their hotel room, and it just looks like amazing and beautiful. I know for me, I've never really been onto that side of the world. I've only been to India once. So I just really am looking forward to experiencing your guys' culture, the food, the cuisine. I just kind of want the full experience of what life's like on that side of the world. Same thing for like people in Malaysia. I'm sure they really want to just check out the US just to see what it's like. I've always heard about Malaysia. I never thought I'd go. So I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
And in what category would you be playing in?
I'll be playing in all three categories. So
Okay.
singles, men's, and mixed doubles. I'm best at men's doubles though.
So all your doubles partners already fixed?
Yes, I'm playing with Richard Livernice
Yes.
from the APP, and then Dominika Turkovic, who's also from the APP. So I'm excited to get it on.
Awesome. So let's talk a bit about coaching. You're a coach. What is the top 3 mistake you see a beginner do?
Yeah, top 3 mistakes I see a beginner do. That's fantastic. So the number one for sure is there's zero paddle tracking. What do I mean by that? If the ball is that way, say the ball's like on that corner, what you should do is have your paddle point it at that ball, and this makes us proactive instead of reactive. So if that ball comes through the middle, I'm here, you know? But what the beginner does is the ball's over there, they're here with their paddle, and then if the ball comes, they have to lunge for it, and they're always late. So making sure that you're always on that ball. I'd say the second thing is beginners tend to drop their paddle in between shots. So let's say somebody's at the baseline, I'm at the kitchen. A beginner will hit the ball, drop their paddle. Hit the ball, drop their paddle. You want to have your paddle out in front so you can take time away from the opponent and make them feel your presence. And then I'd say the last thing that beginners make is the last mistake beginners make is they treat everything almost like a mini tennis shot. Like they're always hitting the ball. The key to pickleball is just catching and absorbing on the soft shots. Like you're not hitting a dink, you're simply pushing. You're not hitting a third shot drop, you're pushing. If you hit, it's going to pop up.
I'm a noob. And I'm just started. I'm a 2-0, maybe a 1-5. Okay, if there's something. and I got you as a coach. What's the first few things you want to fix?
So if you're a super noob, you're just starting out, first thing I want to fix. So the first thing I would want to do is fix your footwork for sure. The main thing people do when they first start out is 2 things. They either have 0 footwork or way too much footwork. So they either stand like they have cement on their feet, they can't move around at all, or they treat it like it's a basketball practice and they shuffle both feet. Yeah. What I would want you to do is only really move 1 foot at a time. That way you're stable and you can hit. If you're moving both feet, it's too hard to be accurate.
Okay. And what's the second and third thing? If it's not too much to ask.
Yeah,
because
no, that's all right.
No, because people, if you ask a pickleballer who is a noob or new, they always think it's the top half, not the bottom half. Okay, let's go to
yeah, you're right.
What's the top half you were to fix?
I'd say on the top half, if I were to fix, one of the main things is when the point starts to get fast, like a hands battle, if you're in a hand exchange straight ahead, what you want to do is you actually want to stay completely still and only use your arm to react because you can hit quicker. What you want to avoid doing is what amateur players do, like a 2.0 or whatever, a 3.0. They'll move everything, stepping around, and that actually slows you down. Where if you're just like a statue and only using your arm, you'll be way quicker. The third thing I would say that you should focus on if you're a beginner player is understand. I would say, I'm trying to think. I would say doing drills goes a long way. I know that sounds kind of boring, but the way I like to explain it to people that are newer, because they want to play it, they don't want to drill, is I say treat it like an extended warm-up. Instead of doing a dedicated drill session, I'd rather have you go play with your 4 friends, but you guys practice dinking cross court for 10 minutes before you start, and then play. So choose a skill each time. Next practice, third shot drops for 10 minutes, and then play your session.
Okay. So there's so much information online today, right? And I think we probably overlap a bit. Just bring us very briefly, what's your content creation thought process?
Yeah. So my content creation thought process is how can I want to provide as much value as possible. So how can I give the most bang for people's buck when it comes to time? So whenever I'm coming up with an idea, I think the majority of players are between like 3.0 and 4.0. Everybody wants to get to that beloved 5.0 status. So I try to target my videos around how can I make the average everyday player who's not trying to become a pro, but somebody who's just they play after work, they play on the weekends, like a weekend warrior, how can they get better? So I try to curate my tips basic enough where they can improve from seeing them, but also deep enough that if they want to like really take it to the next level, they can dive deeper. Like I don't just do surface level tips. I try to also do advanced tips to kind of get everybody. And I think what really separates me from other people that are doing it is I'm actively trying to compete as a professional player and I'm winning the APP tournaments, which I think gives me credibility for like, I know because I'm doing it. I'm not listening to somebody else and saying it. I know because it's working for me, you know?
So why do you choose to come to APP?
Yeah, I chose to come to APP for a few reasons. The main reason is when you play other tours, for example, say the PPA, you have to play a set amount of tournaments for a year. So you have to play like 20 or 25. For me, I want to be a player, of course, first and foremost, but content is also a giant part of me because I think the content is almost bigger than pickleball for the future, you know? So with the APP, if you want to play one tournament a year, you can. If you want to play 12 tournaments a year, you can. Nobody's like your boss telling you to go do it. So that is the main driving factor that I choose the APP.
Touching on the future, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
That's a great question. Yeah, I don't know where I see myself in the next 5 years. I think I'll definitely be involved in pickleball. I hope to be doing what I'm doing today. I feel like I'm living the dream life. I'm competing and I'm able to travel around to all these places and put my skills to the test. I'm battle testing myself. So within 5 years, I really hope that, I'm 3 years in. I did a book. I'm doing the content. I'm hoping that able to kind of do something really big and kind of leave my mark on pickleball. My main goal focus, I think it'd be so cool, would be to kind of become like a household name in pickleball. Like Ben Johns is a household name, It'd be so cool to be able to do something so big that you're put into that category. Not saying I'm anywhere near there, but that would be a goal, definitely.
I seriously think that you are already a household name.
Thank you.
So what separates a good player from a pro?
I would say the main thing that separates a good player from the pro is, I actually have it in my book. The pro, like if you look at Ben Johns, he's going to treat the first shot of the rally or the 50th shot of the rally like it's the first one. So if he's in a dink battle, he's going to keep that same calm composure, even if the dink battle's 30 shots in. Whereas I think the amateur player, they are a good player. After, say, 10, 20 dinks, depending on the player, they get a trigger in their brain that like tells them that they have to speed up the ball or the world's going to catch on fire. So I think really decision-making is the main difference between good players and pro players. That's really all that it comes down to.
Apart from the trophy in APP, what are some things that you would like to get when you're in Malaysia?
Oh, I like that. I don't know too much about Malaysia. There's definitely got to be something. I'm going to do more research when it gets a little closer,
Sure.
Since it's still like a month and a half out.
Yep.
But I'm definitely, like I said, I really want to experience the culture and whatever seems to be like the thing to do there. I definitely want to try. I like to go like all into everything. Maybe about like a month ago, I actually went skydiving. So I want to go. Not saying I'm going to do that there, but just if there's any more, instead of like physical things there, I would love to get just experiences there. Anything, I want to do it all in Malaysia.
Are you a big foodie yourself? Are you adventurous with food?
I would say I'm actually not too big of a foodie. I want to experience what it's like, but I like activities. Like I want to just see the Malaysian activities,
Right.
stuff that you can't do here in the US to check out.
Yeah, and you should definitely experience some courts. Do let us know. We will arrange that.
You said experience what?
Courts, pickleball clubs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
There's a lot of stunning clubs in Malaysia. Yeah. Len Yang was telling me that he and Ben Johns was having a hot pot every day when they were here in Malaysia.
That's
Okay.
too funny.
Yeah. So, what part of your game you're still working on?
I would say for my game that I'm still working on, I was actually doing it today. I'm really working on being offensive with speed ups off of my forehand. So since I'm a lefty, my forehand's in the middle, and most players don't play against lefties a lot. So I think if I can be really crafty and creative with my forehand speed up, I think I'll be able to catch a lot of people off guard.
Yeah. Before we wrap up this session with Tanner, I would just like to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Sports Deals, which is the biggest pickleball retailer in Malaysia, for sponsoring the KidChan Show. So coming back to this, do you feel that as a coach, because we feed our ball, we feed so much, that when you play, sometimes you get stuck, as in like you're a bit more friendly and not as aggressive as you should be?
That's a great question. So when I first started pickleball, before I even made videos, I actually taught in person at a club for 2 years. So I did that a lot. So like I was practicing, but not as much. I was more so coaching. And I definitely noticed that it definitely took a hit on my game, which is why now I try to do really only instruction online, like creating my videos kind of like to everybody. And I don't do too much like actual in-person coaching for that very reason. When I'm on the court, I want to focus on my game. I'll spread my knowledge, but I notice that if I'm doing a lot of teaching, it often makes me like play softer or start bad habits. So I want to stay as far away from bad habits as I can.
If you could leave players in Malaysia and around the world with one principle for genuine improvement, what would that be?
One genuine piece of advice I would leave to Malaysian players is the main thing that people try to do is they try to win the point. Your goal should be don't lose the point within the first like 5 shots of the rally. People often will go for too much. So if you shift your mindset from instead of trying to win, don't lose the point, you'll see how often that makes you outlast your opponents, because more often than not, at your opponents trying to go for a winner or some tricky dumb shot that's just not needed. The only time you really need to win the point is if you're playing against like not like Ben Johns, but not like him. Like obviously there's a lot of people like him, but just like these elite players. Besides that, if you just get comfortable dinking and counterattacking, you're gonna beat the majority of people. You don't need to be a highlight reel.
Thank you so much. That's so valuable. And how do people avoid plateauing?
I'll say that one more time.
How do people avoid plateau?
I would say a great way to get out I think in my eyes, the main reason a plateau happens is because your knowledge is kind of like capped at that level. So like if I can only see, let's say if I can only see like to here, like how am I supposed to unlock this level? So I think the way that you kind of break out of a plateau is by broadening your pickleball IQ. And I think the best way to do that is by watching like the pro matches, watching like the decisions that Ben Johns makes. Like when he plays, it looks pretty effortless. He's not doing anything fancy or tricky. I think it's hard to plateau in pickleball in the sense of if you're plateauing in pickleball with like a hard or like a physical skill of like keep hitting backhand dinks into the net. Like it's pretty easy in pickleball. There's not too many shots to kind of see that and like narrow in on that and then just do drills for that. So if you're stuck plateauing with actual skills, you just have to drill that skill. If you can't make a third shot drop, just do a third shot drop and then you'll be good. But I think after that, the knowledge is the main part, which comes from broadening your horizon, which comes from watching the pros.
Any last words?
I don't think any last words. I think I'm really excited to come. The day can't come quick enough, and I'm excited to meet you in person. I think it'll be very fun.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be so fun. Thank you so much for your insights and for being on the KidChan Show. This has been so valuable. And we look forward to seeing you in APP in Malaysia.
Thanks. I'll see you.
Yes, and don't forget to buy Tanner's book online. I'll see you. And people should really follow you in Tanner Pickleball, right? And where else
that would be great.
And where else can they connect with you?
You can connect with me on any social media platform, tanner.pickleball. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok.
Thank you so much.